Okay, in this one we're going to draw these boxes in a T shape. It says 4, but we're going to do 5 just to set this off. And again, just kind of showing the ruler measurement. There it is from the diagonal method. And just the beginning, so you can see it as a linear drawing. And this time we're going to start with that T shape. There it is again. It has the overall drawing. Just doing this in Illustrator, but there's the shape. And it's built in. You can see the hidden lines through everything. And it has a section that says draw 4 shoe boxes in a T shape. We're going to make this into 5 just to give it a little more depth so that it has a little longer section for the lower part of the letter T. So here you go. You can take a look. There's the left vanishing point, right vanishing point, eye level, horizon line, and we'll start off just by making a cube instead of doing the floor plan. We'll build the box first and then project the geometry off of the back of it. So let's see, we'll zoom in. And again, just showing the ruler and how this works again, just kind of clicking off of the terms for the horizon line, but it's a horizontal page divided into thirds. Difficult to do with a ruler on the increments, but when you rotate it, this method of 0 at the top, in this case it's 6, it's a large ruler. And then here you can rotate it just to kind of get it to 7. And we use that just as an example that you can put a mark at every inch coming down, and it's divisible by 7, so it's kind of using a parallelogram to build that up and causing that shape. So here we'll just draw a box. It might be slightly off because it's not really accurate on that ruler, but just taking this box that's coming down to the inch and just making a copy, hit Command D, and you can see I'm a little off here, but I'll just take and select all of these cubes with the Shift key and just clicking on it to select them all. There you can see the selection. Just grab the bottom, move this up, and now you can see that it's equally divided into 7 spaces. My 0 point may not have been exactly on the top of that piece, but there you have it. So just take those off and return the ruler back to 6. So you get the thirds right there. There's your eye level. The bottom one is just there to show you the third marking there. We'll take that off, and then, like I said, in Illustrator, these pieces that you have are just easier to show the drawing rather than on pencil with the camera. So we'll just do a layer above this in order to build this up. But there's the horizon line or eye level, and we'll just come down here and click on the description so you can see you have the left and right vanishing points and the horizon line right there. So we use that one. The other one was there for dividing it into 4s. Okay, so just taking a look at this shape again, there's the letter T. We could do it as a floor plan, but I just want to try a couple ways so you can see how you can place this principle of the division on any surface. It doesn't matter which one you use, and it'll help build up that shape. Makes it very easy to do. So we'll start with a line segment, just a vertical line, and from each top and bottom, taking it to the left and right vanishing point. So this is just in Illustrator using the line segment tool. And this one, just by clicking and dragging, it'll leave the smart guides again, telling me that I'm exactly on a line segment endpoint or intersection, and just hitting the Command key and clicking to deselect everything to draw a new line segment. And this measurement, just an arbitrary length and width just to get a little different distance. So that's kind of just a visual. Shift key to make it straight, and then taking those to the opposite vanishing points, left to right, right to left. And you'll see that it gives me the overall distance of where the rest of the shapes will fit. So it makes it pretty easy. And this measurement, we'll just use a thinner line so you can differentiate between the pieces. Maybe not that one, keep that thick. We'll do the following ones. So clicking here, we'll just take the line tool, line segment tool, and again, just leaving the mouse, or it's the bracket key. So you can use the diagonal method. You can hopefully see that you can put this on any side of this rectangular shape, and it will work. So from the center point, taking this to the vanishing point, and this is just a little bit of a piece. Just make sure nothing's selected or you'll get this error in Illustrator when you work. on an Illustrator project, but this is just a drawing in graphite. Again, there it is, and it bisects the back line in half in this perspective, but in this case it's actually in half, and then crossing the opposite end of the first box and passing through there just projects this. And again, you can put all kinds of lines on here, but that's just taking the essential ones that are needed. Vertical goes up to divide it, pass through the next one, and this method you could take all the way into infinity. In the drawing you wouldn't be able to do it, but in the theory it's there, and in real life you can project that even though you don't have a perfectly flat ground plane like we have on this illusion of the paper. So that left side is done, so it's just giving us the left angle, and you can do this T-shape in any direction you want. I'm just following the diagram that I have here, and that'll give me a little help to separate this. So just to show you, it goes all the way to the vanishing point. The middle one we'll keep because that'll take you back 3 spaces. And again, once you see this, you'll hopefully find other ways that are all measurable that fit in there. Here we're just taking the direct selection, select the point and the line segment first, then the point, and just shortening it up so you can see, just kind of cleaning it up a bit. So, because it does get kind of complicated when you take a look at it. So just using the program to shorten up these pieces. And same with the bottom one, just drag that one forward. And that'll make that easier to see. So we've done this before. You have 3 boxes in a row. Using that diagonal method, you can hopefully see a pattern, how it builds itself up and takes that piece across. So again, it's using a little bit of algebra and geometry to help use that little pattern technique. So in the middle one, you can do the same thing. You're just crossing the diagonal line. We'll just make that a little thinner in order to find the center. And again, this is in the illusion of perspective. It's not really doing this. If you did this on a flat surface, you would see the shape. And now that we're using the perspective idea, it helps out. So we'll fit the drawing onto the page a little bit so you can see it. From the center point all the way to the right vanishing point. So we're just repeating what we did on the left-hand side of the 3 boxes and doing the same idea just to help project it back. And you can always start off with a floor plan. I'm just trying to mix it up a bit. Give you a couple different ways to see it. Line segment's going to go from the corner, pass through this midpoint, and it's going to intersect. Hard to see. Let's see if we can place it in here for you. Not that one in the middle, but just to show it to you. And then right to the bisecting line segment. And again, in the drawing, it's a good idea to have a sharp pencil because it does get a little tricky. And thickness of the lines, you're kind of using the smart guides to help me locate those endpoints just by the mouse. Drags it over the top. And there's the second box, so you can see that. And so, for example, that would be the 4 boxes to make the T, but I think I just want to have you extend it one more just to give it a little more depth and be able to see it a little easier. So again, the line segment. Smart Guides tells me I'm on that corner. Goes through the midpoint all the way out to this side right here. And there you go, connects right to that section. And then taking that point to the left vanishing point, so the Smart Guides tells me about the end point. And there I have that section, and now this one's a little tricky. You're just going to do the line segment. I'll show you 2 ways. Put it down a little bit with the shift key, assuming I'm going to need it a little bit larger. So I can just extend that just by using the direct selection. Click on the point and just shift key it down a little bit. We'll clean that up a little bit as we go. And now you already have the left-hand side showing the bottom of the line that you're going to use, so just dragging that up and over and place it right in the corner. That makes a perfect connection there. So that'll be good. And then just take this part, extending this down just so you can see it, where the box would be, and I'd be in the middle. And this one is just going to go up to the top. Perfect. And there you have it. So you can adjust this line a bit if you need to, but there you have the initial line segment. Okay, here it is in color, just so you can see the volume to it. And here we have the initial linear drawing, so linear perspective is what this represents. So what we're going to do is just in Illustrator again, just use the pen tool for this, just change the color ahead of time, work on a layer above this, so we'll just go to the layers palette, make sure that's happening, and just go ahead and start to click. And we'll just cover up the whole piece, just like a building. When you think of the structure, they have the underlying building of a house, for example, and then in this case they're just putting on the siding. So with this color scheme, we'll just go ahead and pick a couple. They might be different in the color spectrum, but that's okay. So here we have the right hand side, so I'm just going to click on this part. And again, the Smart Guide is helping me locate the end points and the corner points, so that makes it much easier. And then here's the top part. So again, the underlying structure is helping me. So I'm going to actually wrap this up with the tool, not use the shape builder, but that's the right hand side is a different color. And then we'll use this yellower value at the top. So the color scheme's monochromatic. Is this a blue-green, yellow-green? So it's kind of analogous on that side of the spectrum of the color wheel. And just kind of locating these various degrees as you come through here. So kind of have a top side and a right hand edge. So 3 different colors and building that piece up. Come down here to the shadow, cast shadow, just change the color to green. Everything now has a black outline just for starters. It's not going to hurt it yet. So this represents the angle, and we'll just go horizontal this time, assuming that the light source is there, but it's really a circular setting. You know, you're on a globe, the sun is circular, so even though we're creating the illusion of a rectangular shape, it's really all on a round surface. We're just contradicting everything with the straight part. But there's the illustration, make it a little bit lighter gray. And there you have it. So it's got everything listed in there. So I'm just going to go in the layer, click on the selection of everything on that layer with the right circle, the meatball they call it, and just click on here and you'll notice that all the outlines disappear. So now it's just the coloring of that shading there. No gradual tones. Take off all the linear construction lines, and there you have this illustration kind of blocked out. Scooch that over just so you can see it all in perspective. Not too bad, but now we'll go in and we'll start to color the shading with a little bit of gradients. So here's what that looks like with the gradients, kind of giving a little bit more depth. And this was taken a little bit with that selection. So kind of go through this, clicking on this piece. I've already made the gradients and put them into the swatches panel. So just to shore up some time here, so you can see that those gradients have incorporated all their colors. So the right hand one has the opposite 2 involved in the gradient. Each one of them has that involved with black and white as well. But I'll probably eliminate both the black and white just to keep it a nice coloring sensation there. And trying to get it so when they meet, these edges meet, although I'm doing it in color, you're doing it in graphite, simplify it, and it'll help it out. So here's the gradient editor. The annotator is what they call that one, so it places it on the screen. You can adjust it, rotate it, change the coloring inside, either with swatches, dragging them, hiding them, and it gives you that distance. Here, the eyedropper for the duplication of that one's going to help, and just changing it so it has some color. So different color scheme. This top one will change just so it has a little bit darker. Rotate that like so, just so the shadow in the back is accounted for. And then the cast shadow, just flip it so it goes from dark to light. Won't blur it this time, just kind of keep it a hard edge light. Keep it crisp in there, and that'll give you plenty of space. So there you have it. I already have a toned background here just for the sky, and we'll go from there.